afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the Don't Lie for the Other Guy campaign. My name is Sharice Williams, and I am the Acting Public Information Officer for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, Atlanta Field Division. We have 3 speakers today. Our first speaker will be our Special Agent in Charge, who is Arthur Peralta. I'm going to spell that for you. A-R-T-H-U-R, Peralta, P-E-R-A-L-T-A. We also have Director of Industry Operations, Diana Mitchell. That's D-I-A-N-A-M-I-T-C-H-E-L-L-E. And we have Mr. Lawrence King, Senior Vice President and General Counsel for the National Shooting Sporting Foundation, the NSSF. We also have 2 individuals that's here that we are happy they're here today, but they will not be speaking. That is Ryan Buchanan. He is the Assistant United States Attorney, and also Stuart Van Hooser, who is the Deputy Chief of Cobb County PD. I now turn it over to Mr. Lawrence King.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody here this afternoon. I want to thank the Special Agent in Charge, Art Peralta, and ATF Director of Industry Operations, Deanna Mitchell, Ryan Buchanan from the United States Attorney's Office, the Northern District of Georgia, and for the Cobb County Police Department for their presence here as well. The National Shooting Sports Foundation, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and law enforcement stand together today to remind the public that there are stiff penalties under federal law for individuals who are convicted of illegally straw purchasing firearms. During the Don't Lie for the Other Guy campaign, which we are launching today, there will be over 27.5 million outdoor media impressions delivered by billboards, digital and social media, etc., around the Atlanta area, and an additional 500,000 impressions through 30-second radio public service announcements that will be broadcast in the Atlanta market. Don't Lie for the Other Guy is a cooperative effort between ATF and the firearms industry through the National Shooting Sports Foundation, the industry's trade association. The effort was developed nearly 2 decades ago to help raise public awareness about the seriousness of the crime of purchasing a firearm from someone who cannot legally do so themselves. The program also helps ATF to educate firearms retailers so they can be better able to identify and deter illegal straw purchases of firearms. To legally purchase a firearm, the person must pass an FBI National Criminal Instant Background Check and fully comply with all state and local laws. When a criminal knows that he cannot pass the check, or a trafficker in illegal firearms doesn't want to have a name associated with the transaction, they may try to induce a friend or another person they meet to make the purchase on their behalf. This is known as a straw purchase, and it is a felony. The public awareness campaign that we're launching drives home the message that anyone attempting to illegally purchase firearms faces a stiff penalty under federal law. It's a felony with a penalty of up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000. The firearms industry is proud of our long-standing cooperative relationship with ATF and, in fact, the entire law enforcement community, which is demonstrated by the folks that are present here today. We are proud to assist them in their efforts to combat the illegal criminal acquisition and misuse of firearms. Again, a special thanks goes to the ATF Field Division for its commitment, and the U.S. Attorney's Office and Cobb County Police for their commitment to the Don't Lie for the Other Guy program by allowing us to be here today. Now I'd like to turn the program over to the Special Agent in Charge.
Thank you, Mr. King. Again, I'd like to thank Cobb County Police Department, especially Chief Van Hooser is here with us, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and everyone that's here today. So I would just like to say that programs like the Don't Lie for the Other Guy are extremely important because they highlight the willingness of organizations like the National Shooting Sports Foundation to partner with law enforcement agencies. Gun crime affects all of us. Gun crime destroys our communities. It makes us feel unsafe in our own homes. There are innocent lives that are lost, and there are generations of people that are living with injuries that are caused by violent gun crime. as a community, we need to do everything that we can do to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. It's important to know that people who are prohibited from purchasing guns due to felony convictions or some other federal prohibition, they can't buy guns legally. And sometimes they ask family, friends, or even people they hardly know to purchase guns for them. Buying a gun for a prohibited person is a crime in itself, and it can subject an otherwise law-abiding person to criminal penalties. This program is about educating our public and the good people who may unwittingly put guns in the hands of criminals. With this campaign, we hope to inform the public that when you purchase a gun, sometimes the best way to prevent gun crime is to ensure that you're only buying guns for yourself, or if it's a gift, someone that you know well. If you are selling a gun, know who's buying it. Use common sense, and above all, don't lie during the gun purchasing process. ATF is committed to reducing gun violence in all of our communities, and we will continue to support programs like this. At this time, I would like to ask Ms. Diana Mitchell, the Director of Industry Operations for ATF in Georgia, to present her comments.
Thank you, Art. Good afternoon, everyone. On today, we would like to thank the local and state law enforcement agencies, along with the National Shooting Sports Foundation, for partnering with our agency and assisting us and reaching out to the public and our firearms retailers and meeting our mission of protecting the public and reducing violent crimes. On a weekly basis, ATF's industry operations investigators are in touch with firearms retailers throughout the 159 counties in the state of Georgia. We are ensuring that these retailers are adhering to the laws and regulations that govern their business and ensuring that they are preventing straw purchase from taking place from their businesses. We're grateful for partnerships with the NSSF, the local law enforcement communities, and the U.S. attorneys, because it is through these partnerships that we're able to reach beyond our partnerships with our industry members to reach the public, to ensure that they are aware of the dangers of straw purchases. For we know that safer families and safer homes leads to safer communities, and safer communities lead to a safer state, and of course, a safer state lead to a safer country. So again, we would like to thank all who have partnered with us in meeting our mission of protecting the public to reduce violent crime. Thank you.
Are any questions from the media?
Real quick, I know there are certain levels to this, but is this at all considered to be gun regulation?
No, it's just sponsored and funded entirely by the firearms industry, so it is not gun control or gun regulation. This is enforcing the laws that exist on the book today. It has always been a crime to illegally purchase a firearm for someone other than yourself. In fact, the form that all consumers fill out when they purchase a firearm, it's a form 4473, specifically asks, are you the actual purchaser of the firearm? And if you check yes to that question when you are not the actual purchaser, that's the crime, that's the lie to the retailer, and subjects you to a felony. You can go to prison for up to 10 years and a fine of $250,000.
Okay. And just for a little bit of background, how long has this been going on, this program?
So Don't Lie for the Other Guy, as I mentioned, has been a joint effort of NSSF by the industry and ATF for nearly 2 decades. We are launching the program anew here in the Atlanta area, and the program will last about a month or more with the billboards and outdoor media impressions, social media, as well as the radio PSAs. But this is an ongoing national program. Material is provided to retailers across the country to help educate them, to make them better at identifying potential straw purchases and preventing them from occurring. So we're launching it for the next month or 6 weeks or so in the Atlanta area. We've been in other cities during the course of the year where we've launched the program as well. But it's an ongoing national effort.
So right now, are you enhancing your outreach, I guess?
Well, we're bringing the public service announcement, the outdoor media campaign, to make the public aware, to educate the would-be straw purchaser long before they ever enter a gun store. That's a serious crime, that they can go to prison for 10 years and pay a fine of $250,000, and to not, don't lie for the other guy. so they never walk into a gun store to engage in that activity in the first place. And it's an ongoing effort by ATF and the industry to help educate and train dealers to make them better educated, what to be on the lookout for, what questions to ask, and of course if they ever encounter a situation where they think it's a straw purchase, deny the sale and call ATF, which they do on a regular basis, and I'm sure the SAC could attest to that.